Live with Dancing for Diabetes, Samantha Arsenault.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
For Dancing with Diabetes here at Red Carpet Monday. I'm your host, Adam Lauer, the Residuals Group. Facebook, by the way, people, is kicking us off randomly because of the music in the background. It is not the wonderful network here at American Social Orlando, but it is the music it's picking up on. Can't say much, but so Dancing for Diabetes.
Yes. So we are a local nonprofit here in Central Florida who is primarily focused on type 1 diabetes, raising awareness.
As I drink a beer? I'm also a stand-up comedian, so forgive me.
No worries. So it's type 1 diabetes, which is, 5% of the population with diabetes actually is type 1 diabetic. So a relatively small percentage. It's the autoimmune disorder version of it. So it is kind of under the same umbrella as lupus or multiple sclerosis. And I was actually brought into the world, so to speak, when my 22-month-old daughter was diagnosed with it. And that was a little over 6 years ago, so she's 8 now. And when she was 5, I found this organization, Dancing for Diabetes, and they have an amazing, amazing program that we just kind of jumped wholeheartedly into because we really found a community that welcomed us with both arms. And they are primarily focused on a cure. So all of the proceeds that we raise are going towards diabetes research at the Diabetes Research Institute down in Miami, as well as having events for diabetics who are affected by type 1 in the local community so that the kids don't feel alone. There's a lot of bullying because of the stigma that comes with diabetes, and they always think it's type 2 diabetes. Oh, it's something you ate, or, you're not overweight. What did you do to yourself? And, they don't understand the differences. So we're here to educate the schools. We have a yearly conference that we put on. We have bowling events to raise money, as well as the biggest fundraiser that we do for the year is going to be our yearly dance showcase. So it is at the Bar Center.
What are you performing? What dance are you doing?
So the kids do one number. They practice.
I was like, what are you doing?
I don't.
I like how you did that. You're like, so the kids are doing the dancing.
Nobody wants to see me on stage, but so the kids do a number. They practice. I'll fall for it, but it's always the highlight of the night because it's all these kids, and that's the reason everyone's there. But when you have the rest of the show having professional level dancers, it really becomes a night to kind of go out, have a date, bring the office. A lot of people started using us as this event as a great tax write-off before the end of the year, because we do have VIP experiences where they go behind the scenes with the Bob Carr, kind of learn about the history, see behind the stage, the professional dancers. We have people who've been on TV. We always have an MC who's someone prominent in the community. So it's a night out for people who might not even be affected by type 1 in any manner, but they like the arts. They like to support kids who are going through something that right now has no cure. So they are, selling tickets October 1st. If you would like to grab a ticket, the tickets are very affordable. They're $15 to $25, depending on the seating. And at the lovely Bob Carr Center. So,
gorgeous theater.
Dress up and come on out, support the kids. My daughter will be one of the dancers. She's 8 years old. I'm here with some other lovely ladies whose daughters were also diagnosed when they were, when we have a 13-month-old, a 3-year-old, another one was 3. So it really does strike a lot younger than people anticipate. And, when you see a little kid on the stage, you're going, oh my gosh, this is why we're here, is to support this cause. So that's kind of my elevator pitch for you guys.
Well done. I mean, what would you say to a parent out there, right? I mean, being one yourself, right? That maybe their child, right, gets diagnosed with this. I'm sure. Walk us through what those emotions are like, and then possibly what maybe their first step should be.
Yes. So actually, I'm actually one of the board of directors, and under my realm is, so to speak, mentorship. So we actually provide mentorship for families who are doing the exact same thing, getting the new diagnoses, because when you do have that diagnosis, most people have never heard of type 1. They don't really know what it's about. And they're basically told that their child has to have insulin or they die. And even if you get insulin, they can still die. So it is a life-impacting disease, and a lot of people don't understand the severity of it because they only hear about type 2. They think, if they just dieted or exercise, that it'll go away. So we hear that a lot about how oh, when they grow up, this will go away, right? And we're going, no, unfortunately, they're going to have this the rest of their life unless there's a cure, which is why we fundraise. But, when you have a new diagnosis, and over 30% of people are actually misdiagnosed because it does have symptoms that start out similar to the flu or urinary tract infection. My own daughter was misdiagnosed and ended up in the hospital, which is considered a complication of the diagnosis because she was in something called DKA, which is diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. And it is basically your blood turns to acidic and they can have basically seizures and death. So 30-something% of new diagnoses aren't diagnosed in time. So when you see a child who has, increased thirst, is starting to urinate a lot more frequently. I mean, she was in diapers, so she was soaking through the bed. She's begging for a drink every hour. When you start to notice those symptoms and you get on Google and you're like, okay, this isn't normal, and then you think you're the crazy person going, oh my gosh, is Google right for once? And am I a hypochondriac? So when you are in the hospital and you're having all these people tell you you've got to stick needles into your child, they've got to have this.
I got to imagine there's a stage of denial.
There is. You really do go through the realm of denial, anger. There's a lot of anger. My husband personally went through the anger phase for almost a year. Just that he felt there was someone to blame when in reality there's no one to blame. But
vaccines.
Yes, what caused this? He wanted the answer, and unfortunately, we don't have the answer, which is why we're raising money
with so many diseases, though, especially autoimmune diseases that come through there. To pinpoint one cause with so many different variations of humans. In genetic backgrounds, I mean, I can imagine though, man. I have a 19-year-old. I can see him. I can see him wanting to. I need to beat something up. I need to find something and win.
Yes, it doesn't just affect kids. They used to call it juvenile diabetes, and the reality is they changed the name of it because they had so many people who were also diagnosed as adults who were being misdiagnosed as type 2 diabetics, and come to find out they were type 1. So, they were put on metformin or whatever, and it wasn't working for them, and come to find out they needed insulin just as much as the kids did. So they renamed it to type 1 diabetes to give it that distinguishing that it's not just affecting juveniles, they don't outgrow it. And, I have a close friend who was diagnosed at 23. There's people who've been in their 50s who were diagnosed. So it really can strike at any age. And unfortunately, like I said, there's nothing really cure-wise out there. They've come great strides with technology to help, the management of every day. Great medications, the faster acting insulin versus the pig insulin that they had back in the 70s. It's not a cure. And I don't want to tell my daughter that one day, she might be the statistic that doesn't make it as, long. So there's so many things that I want to see my daughter, do. And, type 1 doesn't hold us back.
You will.
Yes.
Samantha. You will see her do that.
Well, type 1, we try to say kids first, diabetes second, because we always want to make sure that they're getting that experience of childhood and all of this stuff.
So don't hold them back.
Yeah, we don't hold them back, but we also want to make sure they're supported, which is why Dancing for Diabetes is such a great experience for our kids to be involved in. We do ladies' night out for the moms to kind of have that stress release. We have a yearly conference where they can come and learn. We have teachers all across Central Florida who will come to our conference so they can learn about diabetes to better support their students at the school. And some of the school districts actually offers continuing education based on our programs. So that's been a great opportunity to get out there in the community and just really educate and make sure that our kids are safe at school, and that everybody who's in our child's life, that they understand the severity of the disease, but also give comfort, because, you were talking about what happens when a parent has this newly diagnosed kid, and, you're always afraid of screwing up. That is just something that's always in the back of your mind.
I think that's just parents, period.
Yes, but take that and amplify it to literally keeping your kid alive, and that's kind of like we don't sleep. We're checking blood sugars every 2 hours at night just to make sure they're